I'm ready.
What's up, one and all? This is the Peace Dealer. Welcome to another super dope episode of Peace Talk, where I only feature the creme de la creme, the cool of the cool. And this week we got a really, really special guest. Inua, how are you?
Really well, thank you. Hi everyone. Straight from the UK, London time. It's 3 a.m. 3 and 8 minutes actually. I'm really happy to be here. Happy to finally do that together. It's so cool.
Are you naturally nocturnal, or are you pretty tired right
No, I'm naturally kind of a nighttime creature. Like I tend to be quite active at night, but I try to have a nap. It didn't really work out. I think I was just getting too excited. But yeah.
now? It happens. It definitely does. And that's nice to know you're in London town. That's what's up. How is it over there right now with all these energies, eclipse seasons?
I kind of have like I was abroad and it was the World Cup, isn't it? UK the UK was playing Croatia when I was in Croatia, and then France was playing Croatia. It was madness all over Europe. And
Wow.
I went back to the UK, and I've been hiding away actually, and I just got back into the normal world about 2 weeks ago. This was all right. I think people are settling down, but I think with the Libra season, the Virgo and the Libra season, let's wait. Let's see what happens.
Let's see. Indeed, I totally feel you on that. Wow, like when it comes to at least a greater sense of even globally just how people are coping with this intensity. And that's why I'm glad to speak to you today, because you are the high priestess. For those that aren't aware, I'm sure you're a triple cancer or a double cancer.
Triple.
Oh, word. Madam Holy is in the building.
I
That's
know.
true.
Yeah, that's it. I'm out now. I have to shine like, yo, hi everyone. Yeah, I even have more placement in Cancer, but yeah. Um,
Did you speak on that? What other planets in Cancer do you have?
I have my pile of fortune in Cancer.
Nice. Okay.
And I mean, water placement, I have quite a lot. I have my Jupiter in Pisces. So yeah.
So that makes you like extra intuitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, my Jupiter is having fun in Pisces, but my Saturn is holding it down because my Saturn is in Sagittarius. So, God, thanks. Keeps me a bit grounded. But yeah, hyper. It's like I can actually catch the vibe before and after. Sometimes I have this image when I can see the tsunami coming, and I'm like, guys, there's a tsunami over there. And people are like, what? And I'm like, there's a tsunami over there. And then I'm already running up the tree. And I see everyone going crazy. I'm like, guys, I told you the tsunami just happened. Like, it'd be like that.
It's no, it's really interesting because like having moon, sun, and rising in Cancer, like I can imagine you're like so tapped into the ocean of vibrations. So like, how does having Jupiter and Pisces like add to that? Like that's a very powerful position and trine, by the way. Like, I would trust your feelings over anyone else's. I say that.
It's interesting that you said that because I never really understood when I was younger why I couldn't stop analyzing everything, and everything seemed to have a really deeper meaning. It was just like I could see things happening, and especially the vibe. And I was like, why do my brain seems to want to analyze so deeply and make it so philosophical in a way? And then it's only when I understood my birth, I was like, oh yeah, because Jupiter is in Pisces, obviously. But fortunately enough, because my Mars is in Capricorn,
Mm-hmm.
ground that to Earth and be able to actually productively make it into an kind of understandable knowledge to other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. In fact, speaking on that practicality, I mean, that leaves you that's trapped in the whole just imagining dynamic. I love Mars and Capricorn because it's super powerful.
It
So
is.
how does that deal with other people? Like, do you find that you argue with a lot of other people, or?
So with my Mars in Capricorn, my North Node in Aries, basically it turns me into a savage. And my moon and my sun and my ascendant in Cancer, it's like, and my South Node is in Libra, so I have so much cardinal energy. It's like when I actually start to analyze and want to actually ground everything that I know and have a kind of a battle with someone, I become a savage. You better have your stuff together because Capricorn doesn't mess around with you and Mars doesn't have time. So it's like, speaking to me in fact.
Especially, how does that apply to like spiritual battles and spiritual warfare?
Well, it's kind of because with having everything pretty much in Cancer in terms of my sun, my moon, and my ascendant, it's like I understand the vibration. So which is a little bit different than the spirit, because my fire can see it, but can't always grasp it. But when it comes to the vibe and the soul work, then I can really naturally be like, no, this vibe is not kind of in accordance to how you want to manifest. Because Cancer are known to be manifesting machine, right? So when Cancers usually understand the power they have in terms of being able to lead, not really control, but lead the vibe and be able to make it into something sustainable, that's where Cancers become uber powerful. So having all this energy in Cancer and having Mars and my North Node in Aries and Capricorn, then it's like my action and all my desire and my passion all kind of merge into this vibe. It's like this water, kind of fiery, earthy water moved into the same direction. And it's kind of keep me extremely grounded and extremely focused. And I have the ability to word that into kind of earthy words, very practical. So,
which we're gonna see. Like, we have a lot of. I'm very grateful because we're gonna really talk about spiritual warfare and especially your specialty, sexual alchemy. So stay tuned. I know a lot of y'all want to know about this. I've been sleeping on Cancer women and Cancer energy. As I get older and tap into my cap, I realize I'm so grateful for y'all. Like, my Jupiter is in Cancer and my moon is in Capricorn. So like, whenever I just do readings with Cancers, especially Cancer women, like there's just this soothing nurturing that I feel. And you having this concentration of Cancer, if I was sober before this call, but now I'm like high off your energy. Like, I'm totally feeling good right now. So thank you. You're very powerful. And it's like, it's not like triple Aries, triple Libra, triple Cap. That is more you see, you know what I mean? There's evidence. This is super subtle. I don't think people will realize how influenceable or influential you really are until like it's too late or until like after.
Yeah, it's funny because that's what being a Cancer is such a. I believe when you actually take that archetype on, you have an amazing soul work to do, because Cancers have a very bad reputation and they're always seen as moody. But it's simply because when you know so much about the soul realm, sometimes you can't even be bothered to talk to people, so you kind of sound very moody. But when a Cancer, the problem with Cancer is like we have this mutual mother-like kind of feeling about them. Everyone that comes near Cancer, they feel like home. The problem, I think, when a Cancer doesn't know how to handle themselves, they don't know how to handle this overwhelming energy of the knowing of this kind of cosmic ocean I've heard before, then what happened? People can actually drown. You drown yourself and you drown other people because you're actually handling water, which is, a highly volatile kind of element, but also very soothing. There's nothing better than have a bath or diving into the ocean. But if you've not been held in the right place and you don't know how to swim, then, So as a Cancer, it's a kind of a leadership role to teach people how to swim, And for them to be able to swim, then they have to learn how to swim themselves first. And here I sat.
I'm with Marnie Nativio. Her energy is rocking me too. I'm all mesmerized. Like, yes, please say more. This is amazing. No, this is awesome though, because the North Node is going to go into Cancer in November. So I can only imagine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that you're next up.
Is everyone ready? Cool.
It's going to be the most intense karmic chapter we've ever had too. So Capricorn and Cancer, we're looking at you. It's definitely. Normally I hold to that too. I don't really like to say someone is just one sign, but when I see triples like you really do represent this. And your sun and moon is in the first house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are Cancer. You are the hybrid.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. That is very awesome. And
Yeah.
how are you dealing with these Pluto oppositions? Because I know my progressed energy is in Cancer, so like I'm kind of a Cancer right now, and I can't handle it. Like it's just to me it feels like people are projecting all their negativity, and like the water energy reflects it back. So I can only imagine how much more intense it is for like actual Cancers dealing with other people's evil. You know what I mean? Like it's very gaslighting.
Yeah, I think I mean for me, when I get that sort of energy, because I get a lot, and I mean July was intense, like was just crazy. The Cancer season was just crazy.
Yeah.
But for me, I always try to see it in a constructive way. So every bad energy is just a way for me to just grow and expand bigger. It's just the universe sending me what I need to expand and to stabilize my own energy. So whatever I feel, I know there is some things I must do with my own energy and how I must filter. And sometimes send it back because I'm not, the way I apply my spirituality, it's not always about peace and love. Sometimes it's about fight and it's about being practical into the fight that has to be made. And as a cardinal, it's not my place to relate all the time, and it's not my place to be fixed. It's my place sometimes to just be a savage and be like, you know what?
I love when you use that word.
So yeah, so it's also, and this mother archetype, we have this old dusted vision of the mother archetype that means meant to soothe and may be like loving you no matter what you do. And actually this is not right. A true mother is meant to put you back in your place and said, no, this is not how things should be at home. And that's really the power of a Cancer. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was looking into Saturn as well. And Saturn has the same rotation space than the moon. And I truly feel like Saturn is actually a gender neutral planet. And we kind of associate Saturn with masculine archetype because of boundaries and restriction and time. But actually it kind of sometimes makes me think that the female archetype also has its boundary and its structure and its time. So yeah, I've been Saturn and the moon.
If I can interrupt you, I'm so glad you said that, because I really get the sense that Saturn is actually an old crone, that she's more feminine than she is masculine.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm glad you brought up the neutrality, at least, of the gender, because that's definitely more true than it just being masculine. I feel like that was society that kind of placed that there to oppose the feminine Cancer.
Yeah, I think so, because Saturn, anytime I channel Saturn, I never get that sort of aggressive energy the same way that I get from Mars, or I may get sometimes from Pluto in a different level. It's always a kind of very in the background type of energy, very sort of holding down in a very strong and firm way. So, it made me wonder about how we deal with Saturn and the moon. Yeah.
It's amazing too. Like I know Kronos is very much so masculine, father time. You know what I mean? His father was Uranus, but I feel like the actual planet Saturn, once again, like you said, it's grounding. But I just picture a very old woman who owns like all the expensive chain food stores, and is just like super, super wealthy. And like, she doesn't want her time wasted. She's old, but she is about her business.
She's got you will have her back, and she's got your back though. I mean,
Yes.
like I have to say, my Saturn is in Sagittarius, and God, I'm grateful because my Jupiter is in Pisces. So if my Jupiter and Pisces didn't have that structure in Sagittarius, I wouldn't be able to keep things together. So, you know, plus I have, I think, about 5 or 6 planets in retrograde. So it's like, and that's what something I love. I love retrogrades. I know there is a lot of people that kind of get scared about retrograde, they get worried, or they just don't know what to do. I think retrogrades are one of the biggest gifts that we can get of like a full cycle, because to me it feels like, you know, this metaphor about the tiger that needs to do a jump backward before he can actually jump forward. I don't know if you've ever seen this, you know, or even if you look at cats, they always have to do this little push back before they can jump forward. And I feel like retrogrades, that is actually it. It's basically being tied up to like a rock, and you have this sort of being launched at something, and then you're here and you don't know, and it's walking back, and you're like, whoa. And then you're being kind of launched forward into whatever you need to go. So when the retrograde happened to me with all my planets, it's a way to look into all the detail that I missed. So I kind of really enjoy having retrogrades, you know, like I know with Mercury, everyone is panicking, but like guys, when Mercury is in retrograde, this is just a really highly nervous guy coming and talk to you about things that have been missed out. Like it's very important to listen to what the planets are saying when they are in retrograde, because
Amen.
once you get what you need to get for your own transit and what's going on around you, you know, you can actually target yourself and target, you know, your vision to a higher level.
Totally agree. And I'm so curious. Did you do that on purpose to where Cancer is like right behind you?
Is it? Ah, no. No, actually, no.
Ah,
Yeah.
I love synchronicities like that. You're the real deal. That's what that means. That's definitely what that means.
No, but
So
we have the Pokemon though. I can't do Digimon, babe. I'm so sorry. It's gonna stay be Pokemon for me.
it's all good. That's what's up though. So one thing that I really like about your Instagram page, by the way, which I think is also Inua. How I hope I pronounced the name right. Is that right? Inua Cyrielle?
Yeah, so it's Inua Cyrielle. So the story behind my name is interesting because I came to understanding that for a healthy, and we will talk about sexual alchemy later, but for a healthy dynamic with your masculine and feminine energy, it's important to acknowledge and identify both energies. So Inua refers to my masculine energy and Cyrielle refers to my feminine energy.
Mhm.
You know, so the my feminine names was given by my mom, but because I never had, you know, the presence of a dad to be able to name my masculine, then I decided to do it by myself. And that's a spiritual practice that I coming out with. You know, it doesn't have to be public, but you know,
No,
for me,
I'm glad we are making this public somewhat now because it's so important. It kind of flipped the light bulb within my head because that's one thing that I like about your Instagram page. You don't shy away from repping and claiming your androgynous nature. Like you really try and you really do what you can to be both feminine and masculine. And it's both sexy as well as classy. It's really put together. So you do also say you're a mixed Arab. Where specifically? Or mixed Arab?
my ancestry is really complex. In Europe, I was born in France, and France has a heavy ancestry with Arabic cultures due to, you know, generation of invasion throughout time. So my mom is a mixed race from, you know, white and Arabic North African background, and my dad would have been from Persia, which is related to Greek as well, because Persia and Greek was an empire, you know, back in time. So my ancestry is really embedded into this kind of Muslim culture, but at the same time, I had a very strict Catholic upbringing. So I was really embedded in both, you know, this kind of mix of everything, you know, like my complexion. It's like people wonder, what am I, what I come from. You know, are you this? Are you that? My accent, the way, my mannerism. And, you know, I'm kind of a big representation of what the world is at now, which is this mixed thing, this mixed being that you can't really identify, and you need to get to know who they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, outside of that as well, you know, it's great to see you model. I feel like androgyny is I've seen another cancer mention it, so I don't know if it's like a cancer thing that's leading it. But yeah, I really think it's awesome your influence. Do you notice that when you come into a room, more people come there, or more people kind of match your energetic state? Because I'm even noticing it here right now.
Yes, I do. I'm a very electromagnetic. So yeah, so it's funny because people tend to get drawn very quickly. So they want to come and hang out and get to know me and get close.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they have the wardrobe effect, you know, the purging effect, which is, oh my God, this is intense. I can't deal with it because, you know, water reflects you somehow, you know, and I reflect myself as well. And then there is this moment when people need to take space, you know, from this energy, and then they will come back later when they understand, because, you know, people always wonder, are you real? Like, are you actually that chilled? Is it true? Are you faking it? What are you, you know? And I'm like, yeah, this is me. But I'm not always uber cool. I'm a human, you know? But yeah, this is just me. What you get is what you see. And, you know, I don't kind of, if I spend time of like, even with my modeling pictures, or, you know, this is a part of me, you know, it's enjoying yourself for what it is, and very bring the outside to be, you know, bring the inside on the outside and just be yourself. It's very important, especially I realize now, you know, with social media and the spiritual sciences becoming way more accessible, people are in need to true role models, people that are actually authentic, you know, because people can sense it now, you know, with the vibrations of the earth increases, we're becoming more psychic. People get bored very quickly, you know, and you have to catch their attention for the vibe, you know. So if you're not really sincere or very try to stay into your truth, then people just move on and get bored. And, you know, the flow is so fast now. So you have to really make the point to be yourself and to make sure that what you resonate with is really what you bring out to people, and you will attract what is meant to be for you.
Amen. Amen. And when it comes to attraction, I can imagine energetic vampires just flock to you. So with being majority water, it comes with an extra responsibility to protect your energy. You know what I mean? And how do you deal with obsessive tendency? I even know myself, like I'm having to hold myself back being drawn to you. Thankfully, I have that Capricorn, you know what I mean? So I know it's very common with Cancer women, especially. I know it's going to be more with you, but like, yeah, and then also being a woman in this world that has to deal with stuff like that. So, you know, how's it going, Miss Goddess High Priestess?
You know, it's interesting. Like when I work with people, or I do with my teaching, or I pass on information, I try to teach people to build their energy currency.
Yes.
World that always talk about current, money, value, time is money, this is money, water is money, air is money. Okay, then your energy is a currency. So when people get that knowledge and understand that your energy is a currency, then you can be like, whoa, how much do you worth? How much are you ready to engage and exchange? You know? And then once that build, then whatever comes to you, which is vampires or spiritual attacks or whatever, then you're able to work as a sort of partnership. Because, you know, drama, and actually posted something on Facebook about drama. We can't live a life without drama. This is part of life. We all drama kings and queens. But
Yeah.
it's what type of drama we want and how much we want to work from it and channel from it. And how much we want to build from that currency, you know? So for me, every time something's so-called negative in the human archetype, for me, it's a build of currency. You know, it's like, what is this kind of, you know, episode or drama that is in my life is building me for my currency to be even more powerful. So when I'm facing something else, how much am I willing to sell myself? Because it is a world of selling and buying in a way. So if my energy is for sale, then how was the regulation of my energy? What's the contract? What's the term of the regulation for me to sell this energy out?
Very well said. Very well said. And I really like how you akin it to a currency. Shout out to Yeda in the building. It's something that I'm really stepping into more, especially as I embrace having $1 billion vibe and connecting with this tribe. It's really helped me realize who gets it or who doesn't, because there are people who still will. It's really easy to say I have $1 billion vibe until you don't have any money in the bank. Does your self-esteem deplete because you have less material funds? You know what I mean? That just having that confidence to know that you don't have to have a single material possession, your vibe is priceless. You know what I mean? I feel like that starts with cancer, ironically. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. It's a very interesting topic because when people are kind of sometimes getting lost and have those missed teaching and try to find out what's the meaning of God, what's the meaning of the universe, and what's happening after this lifetime or before. And now listen, you've got two options in life. Or you spend all your life trying to figure out if God exists, and you might never find out. However, when you die, you will find out. Or you just get what the tools and understand the game of gods and you play with the game.
ooh, I like.
And I think now is the time to play with the tools that God gave us, and we all have different tools. And God or the universe likes to entertain itself, So at some point where are given all those tools by the universe or God, and you not do good use of it, or you're not actually creating what God's has attended for you to, which is entertainment, right? Then God's going to take you off the play, in many ways, shape, or form, or give you a side play. And then, it's all about understanding the movement and the flow. So it's like, well, let's move on. And I think that's why, the vibe and the cancer. I think now we're moving more to an understanding of the soul and the vibe and how we are energetic being and how we vibe. And and that's why the planets are moving so forward and so fast forward, and saying that the North Node is moving into Cancer, that's just, it's a confirmation that it's time for people to understand that you vibe, and when you speak out and it doesn't match the vibe that you resonate out, then there's some people and more people that just like, well, I don't get you. Can you speak and vibe clearly? Right?
Yeah, like despite what they say, it's like it just doesn't feel congruent. Yeah, which is interesting you mentioned, because I feel now more than ever, there's always been people who could read vibes, but it's like now people are more aware of vibes. It's something that majority, I don't want to say they were blind to, but it's just easier to sense. And it's just amazing how gradual that shift was to where we could. But yeah, before because I'm ready to talk about this sexual alchemy, like this. You got a PhD and all that, like on lock. So I'm gonna be taking notes while you're talking. But yeah, could you let us know how you got into this path? What really inspired you to start your channel? What inspired you to get into astrology and to get into sexuality?
I think it's when I kind of, there is a moment when you look at your life and everything you've been through, and good or bad, and you're like, it just makes sense. And you understand that everything you've been through is the package that can turn your life around and the way you want to visualize it. And I think that happened quite a few years back. And, I had a revelation. I was like, it doesn't make sense. I was just, because I like to question all the time. And I was just like, it doesn't make sense for me to be me, the way I look, the way I feel, the way I see the world, and to have this unique outlook on the world and not to express it. You know, if God created me my way, then there is a reason for me to be unique. And we know the universe of God expands itself through novelty, you know. So I was like, well, I'd rather just try. Let's try. And then when I started to actually believe in trying and put my uniqueness out there, that's where the universe started to open the gates. And then slowly I started to refine where I'm good at and what I'm not good at, because when people open up to spirituality, they understand their powers a bit more and they can do anything. You start to understand that you can do healing work, you can do energy work, you can channel, you can work with crystals, we can do tarot readings, you can do so much. So people are going to be lost. And then it's at some point you have to realize, what are you passionate about? You know, what actually in that field keeps you going? And that's why usually when people come to me, when I work with them, because I use, you know, birth chart and astrology and stuff like that, I tell them straight away, I'm not an astrologer. This is not my passion. I don't want to do it because there's people like you and, you know, the Leo King and even, you know, Uriel that does it so amazingly. And you guys are so passionate that this is not my passion. I'm passionate about metaphysics, you know, and there is people that just take different passion and mix it out and ended up giving bad reputation to people that are actually truly channeling in the right way and are actually passionate about it. So that's why I kind of refined, you know, my field into, you know, metaphysics, so the understanding of the matrix, you know, the actual universe, and but into a vibe way, to a Cancer and a watery way through the soul work and sexual alchemy. That's it.
And let's get into that. I, like you, one thing about Dolo, David, and I, we're astrology is an amazing tool, but like you know, our passions are also metaphysical as well. So that's one thing I love about this path. Like, I can come like a lot of people see me as an astrologer, and I very much so am proud to be an astrologer. It's just something that I feel is a tool on the way to get to the metaphysical stuff, to get to the really intuitive ability.
Yeah.
I imagine it's the same with the Leo King too. He's getting more metaphysical as well. But I totally get that sense too, because at the end of the day, there's a more air, fire, like slant, and you're very a lot. You would probably spearhead more of that metaphysical quality. But once again, one thing I like to say that the most sexual signs are fire. But a fun fact is Cancer is one of the most sexual vibrations, given that Scorpio is the fifth house. Like, when it comes to the passion of sex, you go to fire. When it comes to the wisdom of sexuality, you have to listen to Cancer. And that's where I'm really interested. Everything about your aura and vibe is very sexual. And I get that. Even the way you're chilling, like, it's got people in the live chat, like, matching.
I'm trying to look at the comment, but I'm just, yeah. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
please, you don't have to change a single thing. Like, if that's what you're talking about, like, it's really inviting. It's really awesome. The thing is, like, you know, when it comes to a reason why I respect Cancer with sexuality is there's that depth of feeling that might be unaware to most people that you really add into it to make it more of a sensual, sexual, deeply emotional experience. So when it comes to sexual alchemy, what is the first rule? What is the first step, especially when it comes to merging divine masculine and divine feminine energies? Because as twin flames are connecting, as soulmates are coming, like, if this is like the number one thing humanity is about to step into.
Well, I think in terms of like sexual alchemy, you have to acknowledge your masculine and your feminine energy, really. And you have to somehow at the beginning separate them, to identify them. So I know in the spiritual community, there's a lot of problem with separation. People talk about oneness. However, you cannot experience oneness if you haven't experienced separateness. So you have to, at some point, separate things to be able to remerge them. And once and again, it's constantly this movement on in and out. So you have to identify your masculine and your feminine and see how you function and how you actually process your own reality through both energies. Once you do that, you're able to actually access to the dysfunctional part of yourself and understand all the social programming that's been under it. So, you know, the dysfunctional archetype of the divine masculine, the dysfunctional archetype of the divine feminine. And then from there, you can actually work on a more functional and then merge them back together. So when I work with people, usually I tell them to identify them both and really working as two separate identities. I like to tell people to work and separate part of themselves, even when it comes to the mind, body, soul, and spirit. When it comes to your childlike, your mother-like, your father-like, all those archetypes have to be identified as separate. For them to exist and have their own, you know, perception and give you feedback, for you to be able to dive into the knowledge and the wisdom they have to give you. You know, it's like a family. You know, we are the or like, you know, the CEO of a big company. You have to identify every staff, every people that you have to be able to work with them in an efficient way. And especially with sexual alchemy, because it's a very powerful, creative, and healing energy.
And slightly dangerous, I presume, too.
Yeah, because most people don't understand when they engage of like sexual practice, and that's for everyone. You know, the society works in a way where, if we talk in terms of, you know, spiritual welfare, the first energy that is accessible is sexual energy. The world is extremely sexualized. Most of people have their chakra that are, you know, not running correctly. They're not even aware. So the first energy that those, you know, entities or spirits or whatever we want to call it are running on is sexual energy. You know, because from sexual energy you can create, you know, you can make people actually manifest for you. You know, you can create babies, right? So,
Yep.
so from there, most people, you know, kind of act on the sexual energy without understanding that. But it takes a long time. You know, you need to understand your own perception of sexuality, your own, listen to how you've been raised, and all that sort of things. And once you break that down and you understand the world you're in, and you have this awareness of your own sexual energy, then you become more aware of others' sexual energy.
Interesting. That's through their energy frequency.
Right, so it's through the separation and the contrast. So once again, it's the simple law of the universe, you know, the 7 principles of the universe: contrast, gender, rhythm, attraction. So once you guys, you know, separate yourselves, and you can understand sexual energy through others, and then you can see if it works or not. And then when it comes to actual, you know, sexual encounter, most people never really had good sex. Let's be honest, you know, because they never really connected. All right. So when people experience so-called good sex, they're usually mistaken that for love, because when we have sex, in the same that we have when we eat, all your bodies are in alignment. So you're actually channeling the universe. You're literally having this outside of body experience. So when people are not aware, this is a natural thing, and it's not that powerful once you control it, then people start to actually understand that, well, yeah, it was good sex, but it's not so much of a big deal, you know, you just can work with that, right? And like love, there is different level of sexual energy and different level of love.
So what does sexual alchemy look like? What does healthy sexual alchemy look like when you're doing it on your own versus when you're doing it with a partner? And what's the great way to manifest a good sexual partner?
Well, to manifest a good sexual partner, it's been extremely aware and upfront with your boundaries. So getting to know yourself and know exactly what your sexual energy, what do you basically, it's like the same like I said about currency, yeah? Your sexual energy is a currency. So how much are you willing to share that currency with someone, and what do you get back in return? Because what happens when a man and a woman, or a female or male, doesn't matter, sex and couple, whatever, when two energy collapse into one another, it's for creation purpose. So when two people are having sex, right, when the sex style, right, they are creating a new energy. This energy exists. Yeah, this energy actually exists into the universe. Okay, and when this energy exists, the universe needs for us to do something with it, to direct it somewhere.
Wow.
When it doesn't get directed anywhere, then it gets transmuted. And if you're not aware of the transmutation, then that's where people start to experience craziness. You know, girls going crazy over guys, guys going crazy over girls, because there is a purging. And when two energy collapse into one another, the universe sees that as the opportunity to expand. And the universe can expand in a comfortable situation. The universe has to have the most healthy situation to expand. So the universe will make you look at yourself, right? And will make you realize, yo, you've got shit to sort out, because here is your new baby. Here is your new energy. Here's your new visions. Okay, so that's where we come into all the twin flame and stuff, because some people experience this intense sexual connection with their twin flame or their soulmate, and then suddenly like, oh my God, and they have all those feelings coming out. But all those feelings are just coming from the universe showing them, where do you want to go? You have created that child, that's energy being, this form, this thoughts form. Where do you direct it towards? Do you let go and give it back to me? I take it, the universe will be like, I take it back. Or do you actually visualize it and move forward with it and commit to it? Or do you just move on?
That's so fascinating. So like when I have sex with someone, I'm literally creating energy that can be directed. It's not like we just had sex. So yeah. I mean, imagine if people set intentions before and after they have sex, it would change everything.
Of course, make sure you have the mind into what you do. But at the same time, for people to be able to do that, they have to work on being comfortable with their own self, because be able to give yourself 100% to someone when you have sex is also being seen as being in love. And when you are comfortable in that space, then people get kind of, they get addicted to that feeling, and they also believe that's love. And sometimes, you have to remind people, no, you're just experiencing what true sex is, which is I am here with you. The same way that when I'm coming to a meeting tomorrow at work, I am here with you. When I'm actually going and do some workout, I'm here with myself, So it's the same with sex. It's like being here with you, with yourself and your partner. And because not many people have experienced that sort of presence and that sort of connection, they get crazy over it. So yeah, it's something that has to be worked on. And it's not, when people become aware, you always usually manifest people that, kind of matches your vibration. So there's no worry. The more you learn, more you kind of will meet the right partners. But at the moment, it can be quite overwhelming because, people just, it's really sad, and it's hard for things to move, for people to be more aware. Like, there is many layers of love. There is many layers of sexual practices and spirituality and merging into one another, and what do we do with that? And really
interesting. And how does it work on your own? Someone even asked, how can you use your own orgasm by yourself to manifest?
So as a woman, or as a female embodied being with a female more likely polarity energy because of my cancer, women are really, really good to be able to actually channel way much more point of orgasm than men. I don't say that men can't, they can, but because of society has trained us to so many different, kind of different ways, it's hard for men to access to the same thing. But when a woman is able to channel her own orgasm, then she's able actually to use that energy to heal herself. So, for example, me, I know, depending, if I have a regular, and a partner that I'm feeling safe with, because, you need to feel safe and comfortable with a partner to be able to experience that. Then energy can be moved up and down through the chakras. And when I say the chakras, I'm not talking from head to the pelvis. I'm actually talking from head to toe. So you can actually move your energy back and forth and actually target places and move that consciousness, that energy into the places you want it to go. So, for example, for people that are athletes or people that are highly mentally challenged by life, it's very good to use that sexual energy and bring it where you need some support and need some healing and need some wisdom.
Especially if it's trapped in and they haven't released as well as they should have. So it's just gonna really, I feel,
Yeah. So that's nice when a woman can do that by herself, but also when you have your partner, the two of us can do that. You can actually hold that energy. You can make it grow by the thought. So it's the communication, when you have your partner, it's just, let's think about this while we have sex, or let's, have this intention when you have sex. So, and then really working on moving that energy. It's really like a teamwork. It's really like a partnership plan. It's like you know, it's like really, what do we do with that? You know, it's like cooking. It's like alchemy. It's like cooking. We have ingredients, the two of us, we're going to make a meal. What do we do? Let's do it. And the meal is going to be so nice. It's going to be so fulfilling, so healing. That you can go to bed and sleep and feel great.
Everything you're saying is super amazing, because it's like you're really enlightening us to the fact, or awakening us to the fact, that it's like it's more than just a relationship. Like you can cultivate this sexual energy. It gives you more incentive to be more loyal, to not like sleep around, to keep the energy sacred and pure. Something that until every generation gets, we're going to see the symptoms of a very distraught spirit. I really think it's a lot of the sexual deviancy that our generations. It's interesting because a lot of what you're saying is the Pluto and Scorpio generation for sure is going to kind of enact, and I'm so glad to be a part of that, Jen. You as well. How was your Saturn return, by the way?
My Saturn return was intense, brilliant. I think I still have some. I think my Saturn returns all the time. It's like, yeah, my Saturn return was very interesting. It's like I was coming from a place of unconsciousness, and suddenly I was conscious. It was just like, phew. It's like I could see my life from a different perspective, and I was able to look at it like in a bubble and be like, whoa, okay, right, I'm taking this, I'm taking that, I'm taking this, I just got this, I'm living this. You know, it was really, yeah, it was really good.
True that. I like the researching actually. Directly gotten advice from that too. It's like whenever I do kind of orgasm, it's just like you said, like redirect the energy and expand on my aura. And it just made a lot of sense. Squeeze it in, allow it to just like spread. It's very simple, but it's also really potent, very strong, very powerful. It's motivation to not just let go of that life force energy, but at least be more intentional, which is what I appreciate about cardinal signs. You're all very intentional. You're very focused and directive too. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of add more into what you're saying, how have you personally felt your psychic ability kind of amplified? So let's talk more on the topic of psychic ability. I like to feel that Cancer is actually one of the most psychic signs as well. So how do you feel humanity is evolving psychically, and how does that tie into sexuality?
I think it's really nice to see the world changing, because obviously psychic or not psychic, I was like that as a kid. You know, I was able to just, I mean, the whole world usually for me speak to me in terms of frequency, patterns, vibes. You know, so for me, even as a kid, I had very awkward moment when it come to people like, what is the things around you? Who do you talk to? You know, because I would actually been able to comprehend different reality around people. However, it took me a long time to be able to understand that not everyone has that planetary placement, and also is able to analyze my ways. So it took me time to be smart with it. Because you can't, I believe that you can't come to someone with the knowledge without them to be ready for it. And that's part of, you know, light workers and spiritual workers, to actually not push the knowledge onto people. You know, the person has to be ready. There is a you know, a balance and an exchange. But and then when I started, obviously, when I kind of decided to put, you know, my energy and my focus into my gift, then I realized the world is actually slowly becoming to understand what I used to live in as a child. And I was like, yes. So now when I speak to people, they're like, oh my God, me and my friend, we think the same thing sometimes. I'm like, yes. Oh my God, it's really strange that you feel that way, because yesterday I felt the same. And is it because I'm like, yes, finally. It's like people are stepping into reality that I am all the time and I am comfortable with. And I can now actually
We're catching up.
Pardon?
We're catching up to you.
Yeah, it feels like it sometimes. I'm like, finally, I can talk to people. Finally, I can have a conversation with people. I can empower people in that. And also not get them misleading, because there is a lot also of bullying in social media and spiritual community. You are more awake than I am more psychic than you are, all the signs to know if you're a psychic. It's like, well, let's calm down. Let's calm down. Like, everyone is fundamentally a psychic, but we just channel psychic ability differently. Some are here to teach about those things. Doesn't mean that we just have an understanding of it and we're able to pass it on. However, not everyone wish to be a teacher into psychic ability, and not everyone wish to channel the psychic ability for spiritual work.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, also, yeah, because I looked so much stuff, you know, people like coming out, oh, you're a psychic. I will tell you if you are. No, everyone is. Just different level.
Yeah, just different levels. I agree with that. Everyone is magical. They have love. They're psychic. Totally agree. Someone wanted to know, is God a woman? I know there was a cancer a famous cancer who made a song talking about God as a woman. So I know some people say they're genderless, but like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, simply because when we talk about, it depends. If I have to kick in my human consciousness, then I will tell you, yeah. If I want to kick in my being consciousness, I will tell you no. So it's like, it depends on what perspective we put ourselves in. If it's in terms of, you know, metaphysics and overall understanding, no, but God is neither. God is anything. It's a gender fluid, neutral creation.
Yeah.
Okay. But if we go into human consciousness, yeah, God can be a woman, no problem. Women giving birth and holding, but it doesn't mean, and I don't like when people start to just use gender as a justification of power, because men and women are fundamentally equal, but different.
Yeah.
I can't claim to be equal to a man in the fact that I don't have the body of a man. I don't even have your consciousness.
Yeah.
I don't know what it feels like to wake up in the man's body. I can only understand what they are through the struggle that I'm going through, but I cannot truly understand. And you know, and I work with a lot of guys as well, men, and I understand their struggle. It's not always easy as a man to walk into a world that seem to make you look like it's all about you, when actually, truly, it's not so much about you. It's a lot also about women. Right, and you know, we have just different privileges, and sometimes I get a bit agitated with people need to claim their privilege or their non-privilege to disempower each other, when actually we all have different privileges, and it's how we use those privileges, you know, and how we empower each other, you know.
Amen. So yeah, I mean, I personally feel like God is exactly as you said. There's a masculine version, there's a feminine version. Creator isn't really human, right? It's energy. So there is truth in what she said, though. But I mean, Ariana. But yeah, other than that, you know,
I feel like cats are God. Like, when I look at a cat, I'm like, you just a damn God, man. The cat doesn't want to come and give me a cuddle. I'm like, only God can do that.
only God can do that. I believe that. Yes. As a Cancer, can you heal others through sex?
Say that again. I didn't hear it.
She asked, as a Cancer, can you heal others through sex?
Yes, yes. So as I said, sex has two powers: healing and creating. Sex is extremely healing. You know, having sex in the right way with the right, you know, surrounding and the right intent can be extremely healing. Extremely healing.
Amen. I believe that. And before we play the questions game, actually, this will be a part of my first question. So let's wrap up with the questions game.
Okay.
Definitely gonna have you back on. I'm gonna feature you on some more collab videos because this is fun.
Yeah, we can dive deeper into sexual alchemy because that's just a layer of it. I thought, because I'm sure people want to ask about her as a woman, what it is as a man, and I can.
That's one of the questions that I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
For sure. True love one, you goddamn right. But anyway, yeah. So we're gonna take turns asking each other questions. Just like people are saying in live chat, don't forget to like this video, show some love. So you're gonna ask me a question, I'll answer. It can be about anything. Then I'll ask you a question, you'll answer, and then we'll just take turns till we do it 3 times.
All right, cool. Oh, excited. Let's get personal. Let's get personal.
Yes, let's do it.
You start. God.
Are you sure? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. Okay, so my first question is, how do the zodiac signs affect sex? And I've noticed that, like, if you have sex with a certain element, there's a different energy to it. So, like, does having sex with a Capricorn make you live longer? Does having sex with a Gemini make you more enlightened? Like, how do you, any kind of, that's a whole video right there.
Yeah. Okay, so I believe that first we have to go a little bit maybe general. So if we talk in terms of elements, so having sex, for example, with a different elements would act differently. So if you have sex with fire sign, it might act more on your spirit. If you have sex with the earth sign, it might ground you and work on your body. You know, if you have sex with a water sign, it will be more down to the soul and the feeling. And if you have earth with an air sign, more into the intellect and the mind, very visual, you know. Like when, I mean, I had sex with Geminis and it's like, stop talking to me about what you want. Like, and hear.
Just talking during sex, like, so how was your day?
Yeah, I remember having a Pisces Gemini. Jesus Christ. Like Geminis, you just, yeah, you know. My North Node in Libra is like, go on, baby. You know. So yeah.
That's what's up. All right, it's your turn now.
Okay, my question. Oh my god, that's the moment I'm gonna be all shy, like all nervous. Okay, question 2.
Got you on the hot seat.
Okay, are we staying on the topic of sexual alchemy?
It could be about anything.
Anything. Yeah. Okay, how do you prepare at the moment for the Libra season? How is it going on? Because I've been looking at your work and I really like the way it's turning now. How is it everything going?
How do I?
Yeah,
how
because
do I this upcoming Libra season.
yeah, like between Virgo, I think we're already like getting into it, but I'm more interested with the Libra season because I have to admit that I watched your last transit talk, and I was so pleased with it. It was so good. It was so good. Like I love. So how do you feel? Because like you've been channeling like so well recently. Like how is it going? Is the planet just?
Well, you asked a really good question because I've been saying that Aries season is war, Cancer season is the climax, and Libra season is victory. So we've been fighting the battle so tough. We've been fighting the onus to stand firm in our vibration, to feel psychic projections from others miles away in our face, and just still believe in yourself, still stand for yourself. And when you're fighting that hard, you don't always notice until Libra season comes and we're all about to be aware of how much more confident we are in relationships. We're going to be establishing powerful relationships. Basically, all the relationships with people that's been up in the air is going to solidify through Virgo season. So this is very much so victory. I claimed today too. I was talking mad shit, telepathic. I was like, wait till Libra season, motherfuckers, like it's going down. And I can't, especially for people like you, and people who are spiritual like us, rather, like this is a huge victory. This is breakthrough. It's going to come through challenge, but it's breakthrough in the sense where we're not backing down now. We're not giving people the benefit of the doubt. We're here to stay. And this is going to be that first front that will really show people that we are a force to be reckoned with. It's a victory for the $1 million vibe, $1 billion vibe tribe because of all the work that we put into place, all of Uranus and Aries. So Libra season is going to bring the transition of Jupiter into Sagittarius and the North Node into Cancer. And this is just going to be an amazing season to see the work and the soul growth that we have done since Aries season of this year. And I just cannot wait because this is going to be so amazing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really awesome because people like you need to be heard. You know what I mean? People like us, rather. It's not fair the ways we might have been sidelined, fed under the bus, especially when it comes to sexuality. Now we'll be paving the way at such a greater level. It's very much so victory. And when it comes to sex, a lot of dry spells will be very much so released. So I'm definitely happy about that. I've been in a bit of a dry spell myself, and I'm just ready to have more sex, period. So there's that. But my second question to you is, what are your 3 favorite zodiac signs, and what 3 zodiac signs give you the most challenge?
Okay. I think I have a tight relationship with fire signs because of my North Node in Aries. So I have a very interesting connection with Aries. Most people actually, when they meet me, they think I'm an Aries or a fire sign. So yeah, I have my little crush on Aries just because as a cardinal, you're the firstborn. You know, it's like this sort of incestuous relationship. You know, it's like the bigger brother, whatever. Let's jump.
Yeah.
But I also have an intense kind of relationship with Scorpios. Because Scorpios always come to me when it's time to move their shit. And they're like, and it's this battle between, they know, you know, I'm their cardinal, so they know they need me to tell them the truth about certain things for them to move that damn iceberg that they're dragging along. And it's always very, very passionate, very intense, way much more than fire sign, because it's like it's a soul battle, you know, like it's like I'm diving into the underworld of the ocean, and I'm like, yo, I have to come all the way down here to tell you to move. So I have this very intense connection with Scorpio usually, and I think I'm not sure I can say favorite, but I think that's the connection, and Libra. You know, I like to talk shit with Libra. There is this charm, you know, it's like, and the same, it's like Libra, because, you know, myself is Libra, so I still have this energy about Libra. So I can spend hours chatting shit and flirting in a very, very, like, platonic way, which is, I'm going to turn you on so bad, and you're going to turn me on so bad, but we know no one's going to fall in love. You know, and I really like that connection with Libra. So,
yeah.
So yeah, that's actually kind of the dynamic. But I don't know. Everyone, so I have, you know, it's just, yeah. I think yeah, I'm in this sort of cardinal. Oh, I'm very close to Leos. You know, Leos are the sun, the moon. You know, it's this kind of easygoing. Like my brother, my energetic twin brother, is a Libra. So I'm telling you, Leo, yeah, it's the sun, Leo, and the moon, Libra.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, and those are the 3 signs you get along with the most.
It's not a get along. It's just the one that comes back to me. I think it's my path to be on their track as well. It's just, yeah, I tend to be surrounding, but yeah, yeah, Scorpios are a big part. Aries is. I don't attract cancers, you know. I think now I'm starting to have cancers, but I never was around many cancers before, because I think we are so, it's like intense for 2 cancers to be in the same room. Yeah. Earth sign. My mum was is a Virgo, so Virgo, I get on with them. It's easy. It's a very easy connection with Virgos.
Cool.
Yeah, my best friend is a Virgo Gemini. So yeah, I think I love them more anyway. It's becoming too personal. I don't want to make pepperies up. I don't want to do this. I love them all.
Cancer is just so personable and so sweet until you come in the shell and it's like, no, oh snap, I'm
Yeah.
gonna drown. No, it's better than Scorpio. Scorpio.
Yeah, it's funny because the archetype of the crab is kind of actually very empowering, because try to catch a crab. You don't know how. You worry to get, it's a tiny thing. It's not that harmful, and it's kind of sweet, but you don't know how to catch it. And if you don't know how to catch it well, it's just going to run away and you're never going to see it again.
Or literally pinch your arm and just cut off your finger. But yes. So what is your question? We're on round 2 now.
My question, all right, if you had to work on the sexual alchemy of a sign, which one would you pick?
Oh my God, such a good question.
I want the moon placement, and I want the north node placement.
The moon placement in the north node, not the sun? Interesting.
No.
You wanted the sun and the north node.
No, I want the moon and the north node.
The moon and the north node. Ooh.
I want to know where the vibe's going, because when you know the moon, you know the vibe, and when you know the north node, you know where the vibe's going, what destiny the vibe's going.
Boy, she grilling me. She grilling me. Hold on. I have to really think about this. All right.
Next time, maybe then. Think about it.
I can't necessarily choose, because if I'm gonna if I'm choosing, I'm answering this out of curiosity.
Yeah, just for yourself. If you had to visualize a good kind of soul work and whatever, what would you mix? What cocktail would you have?
So I'm going to answer this question, but this is not out of knowledge. This is not because it's like out of all the signs, I'm going to choose this one, because I'm still very inexperienced. Like, I'm at a point where it's like I got to kind of explore and see what I like. So this is more out of curiosity. It's not because,
cocktail, take it, get high.
Okay, I almost want to say, I'm like, oh, damn. I'm a moon in Cap, so I might have to mess with moon in Cancer. I don't know, but I'll have to. That's such a good question. Honestly, I'm very lusty towards moon in Scorpio, because you can feel the moon in the water sign. So, but such a good question. I almost want to say moon in Cancer, because if we're talking about alchemy, it is a completion between moon in Cap and moon in Cancer. So I'd be curious to see how that really works energetically. And for the same reason, I'd be interested in maybe moon in Sagittarius, because them fire moons, ooh, they got that glow. But I'm gonna say moon in Cancer. As far as the North Node, I never thought about North Node, to be honest. I almost want to say North Node on my Pluto and Scorpio, because it's just so on the actual Pluto, it would probably be more strong. So I know you said one, but I'm gonna say moon in Cancer, moon in Scorpio, and moon in Sagittarius, and then the North Node. But honestly, the North Node is up in the air, because I have to think about that one, because I didn't realize.
Meditate on this. Next time I speak to you, I'm sure you will have a more refined answer.
Next time I speak to you, I want experience. So if I try that one, I know for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. That's such a good question. I wanted to ask you that too, but I didn't want to really go on it. So my last question to you more so is, how do you prepare yourself when it comes to like attracting that sexual partner? What's the best way to be right in yourself to attract them and to really establish this?
See, I think you need just to vibrate at the energy that you wish to attract. So really be kind of focused on the energy that you have within yourself and mindful of it, then it will come back out. But also, make sure your intuition is on point, because when there is, changing of vibration or increase of frequency, your intuition changes as well slightly. And because you are quite vulnerable in that stage, because you're just expanding, so there is a still stretch that quite makes you vulnerable, then sometimes you may trigger your intuition to old patterns in sexual behaviors.
Mm.
And you may attract a partner that is actually not so good for you and fall back into that old pattern.
That's real. That's real.
And it happened to me. And then at this moment, it's the choice, it's the free will choice. It's like reinforce the whole belief and step back into, what you used to be, or actually moving forward with that sexual alchemy and be like, no, this is not me anymore. This is not how I want to do my sexual alchemy, and be ready to move on. And those little space of friction, when there is that expansion moment, are very, very overwhelming. And you can attract a very intense partner, like karmic, or like they call it like dark twin flames, or they're very, very intense. And they're very difficult for people to get rid of, because you create all those soul ties and all those sort of stuff. So once you have understand where you are energetically, then you can do your jump and move forward and then attract the right partner.
Amen. So that's really amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna take that to heart. I guess we have one more question on your end. I'm all bracing myself. I know it's about to be another juicy one.
Okay. Okay, that's gonna be an interesting one. I want to know what food makes you triggers your sexual alchemy.
Holy shit.
Q&A with me are very, very interesting.
I have not really explored my aphrodisiac connects because I'm still a student in the game. So I'm not sure. I do know, when I'm hungry and I do see some foods, I do get aroused. But I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it might be a fruit. I honestly cannot. Your questions are bomb. I agree with Chad. This is another one that I have to actually explore and like find out, because I haven't necessarily eaten something. This is where I need a sexual partner to kind of help explore with and find this out. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get back at you, William. General Tso's chicken. That's hilarious.
That's why people love to work with me in sexual alchemy, because I give them such a fun and cool homework. Go and have sex.
Right, without all the work. It's amazing. I want to say bananas maybe, or oranges, but nah, I don't really. I might even be wine, but I'm gonna find it out. I think it's worth me realizing. I heard escargot is a good aphrodisiac, but I'm not necessarily sure. People love you in the live chat. I can see why. You're really cool.
I'm sorry, I actually have the live chat, but I'm so focused on like chatting to you. I don't have time, and I'm sure, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hey,
you'll be able to read it after when it's live too, so no worries. It'll be available. But yeah, I really wish I could answer. I could even be lobster. I don't know. Like some foods just have me.
yeah.
I get more aroused at seeing food than after I eat it. So when I'm hungry and it's juicy, tequila, that's a good one, but that don't count. So
I mean, this is not what I ask people I work with. That was just a random channeling between my Libra and my Cancer and whatever. It's like, let's have an interesting question.
Your questions made me realize how sexually inexperienced I am. So it's like, damn, I got to do my homework and like find out these answers. I'm out here looking like a straight noob, but it's all good. I like that. Anyway, yeah, I'm very into sensuality, like Masu Min said. But yes, we're going to close. I'm definitely inviting you back on. I'm gonna make sure I get my homework done. And yeah, but other than that, what's the last bit of advice you have for people who want to get into sexual alchemy? I have the link to your website, or rather YouTube channel, in the description below. So y'all make sure you hit that and subscribe to her. But other than that, like, what advice do you have, and how can people reach you? And what services do you offer, if you offer any services?
Cool. So in terms of, I'm going to actually give an advice with the current, the astrological forecast at the moment. It's going to be current now. So at the moment, because we're sliding into Virgo and we're sliding into Libra afterward, and because of Mars retrograde, I think it's a really good time for people to start to withdraw sexually a bit, and to be able to actually understand how they sexually want to attract life generally, or manifestation generally. So I recommend celibacy. However, there is different type of celibacies. There is as many celibacies that there is consciousness. So there is celibacy of the mind, celibacy of the soul, celibacy of the spirit, whatever. There is very different level of celibacy. There is even celibacy of the feminine and the masculine within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where you want to stand and what you want to do and what you want to create for the season to come, then it could be interesting for people to look into getting into the celibacy, those celibacies, and try to kind of withdraw certain sexual energy and to sort of expand them. So that would be my advice. And in terms of, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just saying that's genius. Like, I totally agree. That's really
cool. Thanks. And in terms of my service, so I offer session. So very, spiritual workers, section online for people out in London. It can be a one-to-one, face. So I do a lot of stuff. I work with a lot of stuff. I can work with crystal. I can work with tarot cards. I've been doing tarot reading stuff with 13, but I have a very unique way of doing it. So I'm only doing tarot reading when I'm comfortable with a person, because I need to know what the energy I'm dealing with, because I don't want to create any addiction or anything like that. So I offer, sexual activity working, which is, advice and one-to-one type of things online, or, session with me. And I also like to work in collaboration with people. So, I'm the spiritualist, because I'm a geek. I like to be behind my computer and my books, and I like to work with people that are already established as spiritual practitioner, and that just needs a way more advanced, move forward and practice with their own, business or whatever. And I'm basically consulting. I like to do that consulting thing. So people come and consult me for what they need to do. And I'm always about emails, chat me up. My social media are becoming quite busy, a lot of fan requests and stuff. So it's becoming quite professional. My social media have become very straightforward. If you don't catch my attention for exactly what you need and what we're talking about, then there is less likely that you will catch my attention later. Obviously, because of my Instagram and, my kind of sexual presence, thank you for all the sexual comments. I take them and I enjoy them. But when they become a bit too much, then obviously I'll be like, sorry. So yeah, so I'm always I'm easy to approach, but you have to come with the right intent. It's easy to talk to me, easy to get in touch with me. However, I can sense the intent behind it, and I don't have time for the wrong intention and the wrong focus. But yeah.
Someone wants to know if you teach Tantra as well.
Yeah, so Tantra, okay, I'm smashing all the old concepts, okay? Tantra, sexual alchemy, meditation, all those sort of things. I'm breaking them down and I'm smashing them. Tantra has been used and misused for the wrong thing. There's a lot of tantric practitioners that actually feed from that energy.
Oh, wow.
And I don't like it. So yeah, tantric energy is something very easy to do that everyone can do by themselves. They don't even need, they just need to be guided a little bit, and then you can do tantric. We actually do it naturally.
Okay.
It's just a play of energy. It's just feeling the sexual energy in your body. That's tantric energy. And then you do it with a partner, and you both can be next to one another and feeling sexual energy. We know when you actually flirt with someone across the room and you feel this arising, that's tantric energy. You see? So there is a lot of things I'd be like, oh, I'm practicing tantric energy and this and that. And actually, no, they just come and they just basically turn you on. That's not tantric energy. You know, they just arouse you, you know. So, yeah. So, yeah, but yeah, that's practice. Yeah, it can be spoken in, you know, in depth, and yeah.
So amazing, so amazing. Very grateful for this call. This was really awesome. Looking forward to having you back. I'm going to look for, because my current aphrodisiacs are Hennessy, tequila, and chocolate. A little Ferrero Rocher. So I'm gonna find some foods outside of the alcohol.
I'm on a full celibacy at the moment, so nothing is meant to be a temptation.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, for me, but it's good. You know, temptation is funny because just to say about temptation and celibacy, people think they have to take themselves away from the temptation to resist it. I'm like, no, this is not celibacy. Celibacy is being in a room with the most hot things ever and be able to say no, because this is not good for me right now. I do not want to use this energy. I'm sorry. I'm going that way. It's not about no. Yeah.
I agree with that too. I'm experimenting with, and that's why I appreciate women as a man. That I really don't like the whole shaming. You know what I mean? As far as when people are aroused, because I feel like you have to be so close to the edge. Like when you get aroused, it's not avoiding temptation. It's like getting tempted, but still at that edge, not falling for it. And I totally agree with that. I really.
And that's tantric energy as well. It's building your sexual energy to the point that it's yours. It's your current, you know, it's your energy, your value.
All righty. Well, I'm going to end this conversation right now. Make sure you guys subscribe to her. She's super awesome. For the person who asked, triple cancer, sun, moon, and rising. So you're looking at the official high priestess of wisdom and knowledge and all the good stuff. And yeah, you guys stay tuned. I'm gonna interview Crazy Book on the 17th.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Michael. It's always a pleasure. I love you to bits. You know it.
All day, every day. And until next time, y'all.
Peace.